Hello and welcome back to another day in the arena. It's me, it's CGB, and today in the arena we are hitting the Golgari color challenge. Yep, let's get back to that color challenge. There is a new set coming out, so we're going to have to blitz through these a little fast since I missed that week of activity. Although you out there, yes, I'm talking to you, didn't miss any videos. I had lots pre-recorded, but I could have done a lot more with the color challenge. And what we did with Golgari is probably not very surprising. I did try a graveyard Golgari deck with Priest of the Forgotten Gods. It's interesting. Unfortunately, against red, it dies. And once Priest is dead, and once Chain Whirler cleans up your Stitcher Supplier and your Glowspore Shaman and your other graveyard stuff, not much happens. It's very sad. Red is the most important thing to face in the color challenge because it can literally be like you can enter a competitive event, a constructed event, and face 5 or 6 red decks in that event. That is not a joke right now for those of you who don't go to the constructed events often. That is the way it is. So this is the deck that did the job. I'm not sure if I got lucky or both. It has 4 cast downs to deal with early runaway Steamkins. It spams Chupas and Vraska's Contempts and uses the Vraska Golgari Queen to clean some things up. Vivian Reed, and it spams Carnage Tyrant against the control decks. So it's a mid-range deck. It has an interesting matchup against both. I will say that Reed Duke just recently made the top 16 of the Invitational with a Golgari deck that was very different from this. It cut the Llanowar Elves and added Duress. Which I really like Duress as kind of a play that you can make before you play the Wildgrowth Walker. It also cut out all of the cast downs and ran all Assassin's Trophies instead, and an additional Vraska's Contempt and a Thrashing Brontodon instead of a Midnight Reaper. The idea was if you're playing against Esper, which was the most popular deck at the Invitational, I believe, that or White, one of the two. It was definitely in the top 2. Most people had an Esper deck. If you play against Esper, you couldn't have dead cards in your deck. If you did, you were just forfeiting the matchup almost automatically. I don't think you have to play that way on the ladder. On ladder, you can just kind of have certain tough matchups like Esper and focus on winning the rest. And as long as Esper isn't the most popular deck, you're in good shape. It really isn't. Right now, you could probably go about 50-50 in your Esper matchups and draw too many cast downs and lose that and still grind up pretty well. So, let's head out there and do the grinding. Here we go. We got a Wildgrowth Walker, but we don't have an Explorer creature. We have a Carnage Tyrant, but it's a long ways away. Hopefully a Contempt and a Trophy, though, will keep us in the game long enough to put the pieces together. Now, if we lead on the Memorial to Folly, we can't play the Wildgrowth Walker on turn 2. Yeah. I suppose I might really want this turn 2 Wildgrowth Walker, so I'm going to put the Cemetery out there. Blue. Gross. Alright, well, that's good. We found an Explorer creature. And we of course lead on the Walker, so the Explorer creature will pump it up. Now we find out if our opponent brought Curious Obsession to the fight. They did. Why wouldn't they? The game's being weird today. I don't know what I'm seeing. Is this lag or something else? Alright, so with 1 mana open, I can Curious Obsession. I can Assassin's Trophy the Curious Obsession. My opponent would have to have exactly a Spell Pierce. I can also try to run my opponent over with Exploring Branch Walker and Wildgrowth Walker and just beat them down. It's interesting because we can certainly put up a good pace on the opponent. I feel like I should know what to do here, but it is actually really iffy. So I'm going to go for the Merfolk Branchwalker. I think that there's just too much risk to 1, ramping my opponent, especially if they have like another Curious Obsession. 2, I don't think I want to target the Mistcloaked Herald. If I target the Mistcloaked Herald, dive down's an option. I think I need to try to race this opponent and then squeeze in my removal at the right times. And on that note, it's pretty disgusting that I hit the basic land. We're going to need to hit more critters, more Explorer creatures, and we need them to resolve, which might be very tricky. There is the double Curious Obsession. That is not what we call good. Okay, let's see how the opponent wants to race. I can play this out. My opponent already knows about that land, and I don't think it makes much difference with my mana sources. The opponent's taking this. Alright, I think I want to try fighting them on their turn, not on mine. So let's pass it over and see if the opponent goes for a play. Yeah, did not go for a trickster there. Makes sense. Don't want to play into that counter magic. So I think I'll... If I go for the Contempt, though, it's such an easy Spell Pierce or whatever, I think I'll actually have to keep playing this race game. Make the opponent deploy more creatures or something like that, but I don't think they'll have a lot of problems with it. It feels pretty bad. Okay, there's a Pteramander. Well, the good news is they only have one spell. Another Herald. Alright. Interesting. So, it must be a dive down, and if they're going to play a dive down, let's draw the dive down with the Vraska's Contempt. I guess the Spell Pierce could be a thing too. Yeah, let's draw the dive down with the Assassin's Trophy. Because they don't... Oh, wow. Yeah, they didn't have up Wizard's Retort, and I played around Spell Pierce, so... There you go. So I'm definitely attacking. The opponent might trade for the Branch Walker or something like that. That's okay with me. Alright. The opponent has a lot more cards than me, but we're sitting alright. I think I'll hold up the Vraska's Contempt, because I have a feeling I need to draw it out in a Tempest Djinn or something, then play a Carnage Tyrant. Here's the Djinn. Oh, we could also potentially Finality if we draw a Wizard's Retort here. Let's see what happens. It all depends on what counter the opponent has. If it's a Spell Pierce, well, now what? I guess they could have a second Spell Pierce, which would be a problem. So let's Carnage Tyrant. And no attacks. We can also find back our Branch Walker, depending what happens here. The opponent might go full race mode, trying to run me down. Okay. Alright, 7. Siren Storm Tamer, sure. Another Wild Growth Walker. We could try casting it. I think what I most want is to find back my Branch Walker. That's how I can tilt the race back in my favor. So let's lead with this. Now what this doesn't play around is Essence Capture. What we're playing around is like Spell Pierce, Dive Down, things of that nature. But I don't think we have a choice. We could also go for the Finality. I think that that would be a pretty bad play. It loses to Dive Down and straight up Spell Pierce. So we'll go for this. See if we can draw a counter spell from the opponent for this. No. That would have been nice. Alright, if this gets countered, or if our Branch Walker gets countered, that's going to be the game. And it was an Essence Capture waiting for us. Alright. So I have a lot of regret about the not going for the Assassin's Trophy on the Herald much earlier. Although I do think the opponent had the Spell Pierce, and there's a good chance they did. But there was also a point where they opted. Perhaps if I'd held my mana open, I could have done that. So that's one big play I could have done differently. And then, other than that, I don't think there was a lot to it. But that was a close game. And I should probably have just gone for some earlier plays with things like the trophy. Some early removal and some early explore. What more could you ask for in Magic the Gathering? Here's a Sky Marcher Aspirant. Hello. Let's go ahead and get the Walker down. If we're against white and the Walker lives, that could be a very big deal, as the Walker is probably the hardest thing for white to deal with. But it looks like they have a pretty good draw, as the creatures are coming out fast and furious. We're going to have to keep our cool and try to stay the course while the opponent explodes onto the battlefield. Branchwalker hits Explore, and we do have a forest, so another forest is a welcome sight. Next turn we can Branchwalker and Cast Down or Assassin's Trophy if we need to, while also putting up a pretty good brick wall this turn, unless your opponent finds Conclave Tribunal. Even if they do, we can Assassin's Trophy the Tribunal and explore again with the Branchwalker. The life buffer is really, really helpful against the white deck. They have to go insanely tall and wide to get around it. But the scary card is always the elephant. Did they bring an elephant? They brought an elephant, my friends. Nothing is out of range of Find Finality yet, which will be our goal, to find a Find Finality. That's a very odd thing to say. Let's bring out another Branchwalker. Another Cast Down on top. Yeah, shooting down creatures is hard to turn away, as we are in Cast Down heaven. Now, do I want to pressure my opponent? My opponent wants to put up an attack with their 3 creatures to flip their Legion's Landing. Because of that, I don't think it would be very wise to attack my opponent here. I want them, if they attack me, for it to punish them as much as possible. Sky Marcher Aspirant's protected by the Bodyguard, so I'm just going to say go and see what happens here. We can also Assassin's Trophy that Legion's Landing, which... it's okay. History of Benalia. So now, with creating a Knight token, the opponent would have enough creatures to play a second Elephant if they have it. So in response, I am going to cast down the Venerated Loxodon. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. They'll need a land if they want to ascend their Sky Marcher Aspirant. And if they attack with these 2, I'll gladly take some trades. So if they want to flip the landing this turn, they at least give up 2 creatures to do it. And they do not wish to flip the landing. Now we could Assassin's Trophy the Benalia before it, 1, gives the pump, and 2, makes another Knight. It's pretty tough. It's that or the Legion's Landing, and I'm at 26. I feel like I can survive the Knight tokens. The landing is a bit concerning. So let's say go. Like, forcing them into attacks to flip that thing sounds like a pretty good plan. Unfortunately, the Sky Marcher is going to start picking at me. Pre-combat, I may go for like... Oh, it is another elephant. So we called that one right last turn, but I've never been so upset about being right. Okay. There is our elephant boy. And that is a beefy set of cards. My god. The hits just keep on coming. Alright, so first few things. Let's throw some cast down around. First I'm going to cast down the Sky Marcher because it flies. The opponent can sacrifice the Bodyguard. Oh, they did not sacrifice the Bodyguard, but that's why we tried it first, just in case they forgot. I'll also take out what? I could take out the Knights because they're going to get buffed, but the Loxodon is the biggest thing full-time, but I guess the Dauntless Bodyguard has the same power and it gets buffed next turn. So let's go after that too. Spot removal against 1-drops. Gross. Hello. What's your job? Probably to absorb a bunch of damage for me, but it can also take out this Legion's Landing. And hopefully the opponent doesn't have another. We're going to take it. So if the opponent decides to attack the Vraska Golgari Queen with the Knight pump turn, I'm actually really happy about that. So what I thought would happen that turn is that the Vivian Reed would have to possibly top deck a land and take out the Aspirant. That's a lot of damage. 9, 13 plus 12 is 25. I could go to 1. How bad is that? As opposed to throwing something under the bus for life? Well, this doesn't have good trades with any creatures on the boards anyway, so we may as well use it now to keep my life total a little bit more reasonable. And this block is free. Maybe we don't throw anything away then. No, I think it's right to throw it. I think it's right to basically gain 6 life from the Branch Walker right now. So, there you go. Down to 11. A Jade Light Ranger would be a worthy top deck for sure. Is this another elephant? When you run cold, my friends. Oh, a Conclave Tribunal. What do you want? Vraska? That's really surprising, and not the play I would make in a million years, because if I blow up this Tribunal and get the Vraska back, holy crap. And I've got just the way to do it.
The wild, no one said restoration was painless.
And now I get to kill... Let's see, I could kill the Lifelinker, which is a little bit scary. But I could also take out a Knight token, which gets pumped by a future History of Benalia. Right now, I don't find my opponent's life total to be extremely relevant. And now we just have to live. So we can block here and go to 3. And it gives us a chance. Never mind. Maybe I don't have a chance. Holy crap. When you run cold, you run cold. What did I say? Alright. Down to 1. Memorial of the Folly is not the card.
The wilds are my shield.
So there's a Wild Growth Walker. We can play this. Plus the Vraska. Sacrifice it. There's a Jade Light Ranger. Oh no, I'm short of green. No, not like this. So when you run cold, you run cold. Good game to the opponent. I don't think there was much to be done. Just one of those days so far. Although Cast Down City, they tried. They just weren't good enough. Ouch. Into gold tier 4, no! Our opener has a Branch Walker to try to do something early and some Planeswalkers. Hopefully we can draw some curve filler. It is a little bit soft for on the draw. And a Chupacabra is another slow-ish card. Esper. Esper is Kanta. Here we go. So we won't have good pressure on the board, and the Chupacabra won't do much. But we will test our opponent on whether or not... I guess I'm supposed to keep this? That's rough. I think I'll get an opportunity to find it. So I'm going to graveyard it. I think I'll get an opportunity, though, to find the card. We'll see. The opponent might take it with a Thought Erasure, which would really hurt. But the graveyard isn't the worst place for the Tyrant unless our opponent has a Kaya here. Straight up, main phase, Mortify your Dork. That's a free roll. Sweet. They ban an Eldest Reborn. Wow. They must need land. Here's the Thought Erasure. But if you don't take the Vraska, I'm going to blow up your Azcanta, and even then I'll blow up your Azcanta the next turn, and even then there's a Carnage Tyrant waiting. The opponent kept on top, must be a land. And I think I'll try to hit my land drop to make sure that I can threaten Vivian Reed next turn, and we do. Should have played that though before I played my 4th land. It's not going to matter much here, as Shocking doesn't seem to affect things, but just, you know, my habits should be better. I don't think my opponent has a counter. They haven't, like, even thought about holding one up. So I'm pretty sure I'm supposed to go for Vivian Reed, and I'm pretty sure they kept this land on top last turn. So, YOLO. Yep. Yep. I had a feeling.
That can't help you now.
So you can tell sometimes if your opponent has a counter by how often they main phase. I mean, a turn 2 as Kanta doesn't mean much, but they main phased a Mortify. They main phased a Thought Erasure without really thinking very hard about it. Tells me that that's somebody without a counter. And then they kept on top with a land missing with their Thought Erasure. That tells me they keep a land on top, not a counter spell. So just giving you, just telling you how I sniffed that out. Then again, it is Arena, it is the ladder. People do weird things all the time. So if I had been countered there, I'd have to just shrug and be like, well, I don't understand Magic. Multiple Eldest Reborns, wow. Wow. Opponent is spamming that Eldest Reborn. I could minus this to take out the Eldest Reborn, but I don't think that's a good play. I have plenty of cards to discard, and I can minus it next turn if Vivian lives. Besides, another Carnage Tyrant is pretty sweet. However, I don't want to play right into another Eldest Reborn. The opponent's already played 2. It's possible they play 4. I honestly didn't think I had to worry about another one when I saw the first one. Still, make them have it, right? Make them have it. I guess if they have a Wrath, they have to Wrath this anyway. Okay, let's do the Explore thing. Let's do it. I mean, that will definitely pressure them into dealing with the board somehow. On the discard, let's drop off one of these Chupa Dupas. This is not where they are the most successful cards. The opponent passes back over, so Vivian Ryu can keep doing her wonderful work and take out that Eldest Reborn before it gets back a Carnage Tyrant. Something of that nature. And let's send in the critters. Critters are ready. Hello. What you doing? What you doing? You gonna do something? Hiya! Alright, we're going to damage. Opponent is counting their land. Down to 7, so I want to keep the pressure on. My opponent could definitely have a Teferi or be about to draw a Teferi. I like having the Carnage Tyrant backup so it doesn't get Wrathed. So I'm going to play my land, I'm going to play my Chupacabra and hold open my Vraska's Contempt, which the opponent does know about. And play something I don't mind getting absorbed, like the Chupa, just to have even more pressure on the battlefield. Sinister Sabotage discarded. Wow. Okay. Opponent's digging frantically. They must have drawn a lot of counterspells in a row in the last few turns. Thought Erasure is annoying. Obviously, it would be nice to be getting back my Carnage Tyrant. That was something that it was like, well, how do I deal with that? But what can you do? If they're using their mana on the Thought Erasure, maybe they're still getting beaten to death by my creatures. Let's start with a Vivian Reed Plus since it has nowhere else to go. Since she has nowhere else to go.
Would break someone like you.
It's a pretty good rip. Opponent might get a nice for that. However, I'm going to keep trying to pressure without those. Now, the opponent might have an Absorb. If they go up to 10, but I play... 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. The Branchy would get through it. So if the opponent absorbs this, the Branchy will win it. So let's see if they play an Absorb here. No. Alright. In that case, I don't think I want to go for the Walker because the Absorb would let my opponent survive a turn. They didn't have to play one if they had it there. They might still have a Moment of Craving, which this doesn't prevent from being effective. Oh wait, I can Vraska's Contempt my own creature in response. But that will only get my opponent to 1. Settle the Wreckage, okay. I wondered if they would play a card like that. You just don't see it that much on ladder anymore. But hey, we had to get it out of them if they had it. And I don't mind picking up the land either. Alright, so they're tapped out. Let's go for the Branch Walker. We could hold on to the Carnage Tyrant. Like, holding on to the Carnage Tyrant is always at risk of another Thought Erasure. But there's also a Kaya's Wrath, something like that, which you've got to expect the opponent is, you know, at least it's got to be in there somewhere. Another land, wow. There's nothing like hitting a land off the top when you just got settled for four land. It's such a tilt. It is such a tilt. Ooh, good draw. If we can resolve that, it gets 2 Carnage Tyrants. Vivian Reed, help me out.
Balance comes.
Vivian's done a great job this game keeping it real. Let's go send in the creatures and see what happens. Okay. Down to 3. What to do? I always like to play the Carnage Tyrant towards open mana. If the opponent Wraths next turn, though, and counters the Find Finality, we're in big trouble. But what about a Wrath and a Teferi? Is that an option? It is. I wouldn't be surprised if the opponent went for it. Alright, we're gonna Tyrant. We're gonna Tyrant. Make the opponent have it. Here comes the insight, I'm sure. Discarding a land. Five cards. Is it the perfect combination of things our opponent needs? Here's Teferi.
I know my responsibility.
Here's the Contempt. Teferi gone.
Time will tell.
I'll do it in response to that draw, of course, in case that gives them the information they need to know whether or not to save the Teferi somehow. They don't have the mana to Wrath. That's obnoxious. That can take out the Tyrants if the opponent sees it. Okay, they left a Tyrant. That's a big mistake. And then they scoop it up. Alright, then it doesn't matter. They still had to deal with the board. I was wondering if they would be like land settle, but maybe they already played a land, but yeah, that's pretty much game. Yay, we got our swagger back against Esper. Let's do this. Early cast down, but the lands are tapped. The Wild Growth Walker doesn't have any Explorer. I'm keeping. I'm hoping I'm against a creature deck. If I'm not against a creature deck, the hand is really bad. White mana. Dauntless Bodyguard. Here we go again. Will there be vengeance? Ooh. Hot draw. We get the Walker on the field. We're going to have to start taking care of our life total, though. Jade Light Ranger off the top would be welcome. Danto Vanguard. Not one I've seen in a minute. Ooh, ah! Easy, buddy. I think I'll play the Reaper. I don't actually want to use it too much. So it might block the Vanguard, make the opponent pay 4 life, and then draw me a card. Tithe Taker, sure. Yeah, all the stuff is coming. We're gonna have to start killing things somehow. What do you think? I think I can hold it for a minute. I think I can make, like, I have some good plays next turn anyway. I can go Elf cast down, or if I draw land, I can play Chupa. There's the Elf. And that might be a good thing to throw in front of a Vanguard to draw a card, too. And what are we casting down here? The Snubborn Sentry is going to be the largest creature. The Dauntless Bodyguard is obnoxious. But right now it's not big enough to really attack through anything. I'm sure that will change. I'm sure something bad will come. So I'm going to take out the snubs for now. Nothing else is big enough on its own. And we can always hope the opponent just doesn't have their Marshal. I think we would have seen an Elephant if they had it. A Johnny. Ouch. That's really good here.
It's good to see you, my friend.
Our opponents have done a good job having the nuts over and over today. And that certainly qualifies, so... I can take out the Bodyguard and get 2 points in on the Johnny. Oh, it's so bad. It's so bad. But I don't think I can block. I think I have to no-block this. But yeah, the Ajani's just going to keep making bigger and bigger creatures unless I draw a Vraska's Contempt. Explore creature's nice. Let's at least get that going. Okay. Another land. I can play another elf. So if I attack it with these two, the opponent might double block with the Wildgrowth Walker. I can cast down in response. I could also cast down ahead of time. Or I could cast down after blocks if the opponent puts Tide Taker here and takes 2 on the Ajani. I don't think they're just going to yeah, let's see if they try to double block the Wildgrowth Walker. That would be the best case scenario. They might. I mean, they might really want that Wildgrowth Walker. Okay, they block with Bodyguard. It's not what I expected. It is a very conservative block. I suppose I just take it and draw my card. It might be a Jadelight Ranger. It might be something really good.
Very well.
And then we probably cast down the Tithe Taker. But giving my opponent Flyer is really bad. I could also hold up the cast down, but I don't feel like that does me any good. I guess I can Chupa the Flyer. But we need to draw some better cards. We've got a Midnight Reaper in the graveyard with a Memorial to Folly. I mean, that's something we can do, but it's not really what I'm looking for. Alright, we got the Sky Marcher. I also feel like I need to keep my creatures to pressure the Ajani, which is a problem. Oof. Okay, but I get to beat up Ajani now, because I can Chupacabra away the Loxodon, but then my opponent's board is just so strong. So strong! With 2 flyers? They're gonna close quickly.
Be strong.
And the opponent does pump up the flyers, which is the right choice in that scenario, because it's very likely that I kill off the Loxodon to go after the Ajani. So I could let my opponent keep the Loxodon and take out a flyer and attack with all. The Loxodon blocks my Wildgrowth Walker and Ajani dies. The opponent untaps, attacks, I block with Chupacabra, and I take 7. That's not the worst. And that might be just wiser. Alright. All attack Ajani. Down goes the Wildgrowth Walker. Which is too bad, but we weren't assured of drawing anything to pump it. And now we can block with the Chupacabra, get it in the yard, and then get it back with Memorial to Folly. Knight of Grace off the top. Pretty good against Golgari. And also one you don't see all the dang time, but there you go. Welcome to the arena. Is there something you don't want the opponent to have? They have it. Don't worry about it. Don't overthink it, kids. Alright, well. Land off the top sets up Chupacabra. But there's still so much to deal with. I guess we're trying to hang on and draw Find Finality, right? Yeah, that's the trick. That's the big trick. We've gotten rid of the evasive creatures. Now we just try to hold on and find it. Look at that top deck. Holy smokes. Alright, so pretty much everything's lethal. And finality is the only thing, so let's do it. One time, please. I played for this top deck. Come on. Nah. Nah! Did that just happen? Did that just happen? Too bad that this... No, it doesn't live because of the Marshal. I'll just decline that. Now please, flood out. Or let me draw the nuts. Either way. Close. Close. God, would that have been a hot play. Snubbies. Land. Okay, okay. It's so good if I'm going to draw Explorer, and so bad if I don't. Graveyard. I want the land. Alright. Carney T is ready. Yeah, land! Love it. Brick, white deck. Brick forever. Suck it. No! Like their best top deck always seems to be Benalia. No! Oh god. Alright. I can't take the attack, so I gotta say go. How about another find? I could find a Wild Growth and a Jade Light. Wouldn't that be nice? Okay, they don't have the land. Ooh. What up, dog? What you doing tonight? Yo, twinsies. We're bringing out the twins. Come at me. Oh god. A flyer. Yes. Please. That must be a mistake, right? What is this? Okay. I mean, I have to block anyway, so it's not like he got me, okay? It's not like he got me there. Uh-oh. It's all falling apart again. He says good game. How'd he know I was going to draw another land? Brutal. Yeah, good game. Rough for me. Rough day, but a good game. Our hand has removal and explore. It hasn't been good enough all day. Will it be good enough this time? Let's find out. It has been the worst kind of day. Our opponent mulled to 5. Can CGB get a win? Yes! Yeah! Got him! Finally! Dominance asserted! Yes! God, that feels good! As a follow-up to truly the most epic win in history, for the first time today, I might actually have a Wild Growth Walker into a Jade Light Ranger, and I'm on the play. I think we're about to run hot. Red. Nemesis. Alright. That's kind of sucky, but I'm going to play the Walker and see what happens. Can't expect them all to live, and we just sort of have to absorb the damage and find them back and do it again. Here we go. Opponent playing on easy mode, as red decks always do. They always have turn 1 Lava Runner, Lightning Strike thingy, and then they well, you know, they didn't actually light up the stage there. Maybe they have a Chain Whirler. So again, mana screwed, let's make them deal. That pause means it's either another Wizard's Lightning or a Shock. Of course they have that. It's basically lock it in, you know? If it's bad for you, they have it. Land off the top. So, Llanowar Elf, get out there. Make yourself useful. Find, get me those back. And all 4 cast downs and all the Chupacabras and all the removal, and yet our opponent is going to get to untap with a Runaway Steamkin. Feels bad, man. Oh boy. Well, on the bright side, land off the top and we are rolling. Ooda lolly. Golly, what a day. Let's throw a party in the honor of our Wild Growth Walker friend. Yes, please. Now, how good is a cast down when we have Vivian Reed and Carnage Tyrant? I don't know. We'll have to figure this out. There's still a lot of ways this game could go horribly. Bang. Of course. Yep. everybody. So the best block is probably this Steamkin, which is a trade. I could block the Lava Runner. One of the things that's very scary is if the opponent removes the counters and plays Chain Whirler. If I block here, that's definitely a possibility. So I'll take this one. Yeah, alright. Okay, so first thing we want to do is cast down the Steamkin, and if the opponent makes the mana, then we pass to our second main phase to clear their mana pool in case they were going to shock this on their turn, and they can't take it anymore. They don't want to see how this ends, and despite an absolutely painful day, we're back where we started, rocking gold tier 3. Brief tangent, late format arena ranked ladder, and that's what we're in. We're at the very end of the Ravnica Allegiance standard format, is a frickin' nightmare because the best decks have been found. They've been played at the Mythic Invitational, they've been played at the Grand Prix, they've been played at the Mythic Championships. Everybody knows what the good decks are. So anybody with any Magic skill at any kind who feels like grinding up just grabs one of the Mythic decks and they go for it. And that's normal. So the game is pretty monotonous, and it's only the very best decks smashing into each other in best of one, which is very coin flippy, where being on the play has a huge influence on the win. So the swings are very dramatic. You can build a decent deck, and especially if you try to build something original, it might even be a decent original deck. But the swings are going to be dramatic. You're going to have a lot of games where it doesn't feel like you can win. I hope I at least showcased a little bit today that we can fight, we can learn from it, we can try to get better, and we can try to smile while we do it, and also have a little bit of fun. So, little before I go, remember that the War of the Spark giveaway is on. Use the promo code CGB on an order of value $10 or greater at flipsidegaming.com, and you can be entered to win a booster box of War of the Spark. So, please go over to flipsidegaming.com and use the promo code CGB. It supports the channel as well, and I've been amazed by all the support I've received using that promo code on Flipside Gaming. Thank you for watching this video. As always, I will see you in the next video. Goodbye. If you enjoyed this video, please hit the like button, subscribe to the channel, or leave a comment. You can also support the channel on Patreon for special perks. Links are in the description. Our sponsors are HauntedFlower.com and FlipsideGaming.com. Haunted Flower sells officially licensed MTG apparel and accessories, and Flipside Gaming sells MTG cards and supplies. You can save 10% on either site with the promo code CGB, and it supports the channel at the same time. See you next time for another day in the arena. For now, it's me, it's CGB, signing out.